Hello and welcome to Paint by Blunders. This is video 2 in Project Phantom, where we are taking a Eldar Phantom Titan and we are giving it a glow up and giving it a nice scenic base. Now I do this in partnership with MERLIN'S Miniatures, who I will link below, who very kindly gave me this model to paint up for them. Now enough me waffling, let's get into what we did. So Talisman Teal from Warpaint Fanatics is going to be the main colour for this scheme, and where we've got so many large flat panels, I'm going to be taking advantage of an airbrush to do most of these. And I'm also going to use the Army Painter's Airbrush Medium because I think this is such an amazing product that lets airbrushing become so much of a breeze, and I'm just going to absolutely blast this thing to get the sort of the main base coat on. Now, for any of you who are interested with the sort of airbrush side of things, I'm spraying about 20 to 25 psi and about 50-50 mix of paint to medium. If I had the airbrush version of this paint, I probably would see how it shoots without adding it and then adjust it from there.
There's a mask and gloves in the bag. You better put them on.
After that, we're coming in with our Siren Turquoise, again from the Army Painter. And we're just going to do like a Xenophort sort of top down to really just add a little bit of colour to this scheme. So onto the metallics. Now I'm going to move away completely from miniature paints and I'm going to be using an artist paint, and it is Golden Acrylics Iridescent Bronze. And if you haven't heard of Golden, they make amazing acrylics. You can use them for miniatures, but I mainly use them for props. But the coverage is fantastic, and I highly recommend you check out sort of Golden or venture away from some of the miniature paints, especially if you're doing terrain and stuff, because it's actually way more cost effective. So for the silver metallics, I started with the old faithful sort of scale 75, which I really like, but then I quickly changed to the old faithful, the metal colour from Vallejo, and I used the dark aluminium, I believe, because it's got fantastic coverage. Even though it's an airbrush paint, you can use it with a brush and it gives you great coverage. I'm putting the first coat on here, but I do go back and tidy up with a second coat. Now this thing was very, very different to paint, I shall say, because where all the parts are massive, negotiating these parts on your hobby table when you're trying to do them bit by bit is an absolute pain, I will not lie. But I did learn a few things and it was super enjoyable, if not very stressful as well. But I don't regret any of it. I did really enjoy it and I'm super happy with, you know, where we are now. A thing I didn't get footage for was the white pieces. Essentially, I just airbrushed the white primer back over again. So apologies I didn't get that footage, but I knew I wanted to make this quite a dirty model in the end, so I wanted to give it a little oil wash, and I'm using a Payne's Grey oil wash, and I'm just applying that quite haphazardly over all of these sort of turquoisey teal sections, because I just wanted to stain it really and start running around. I'm not being careful because I know I'm going to come in and brighten it up later. As I said, I wanted to stain it, I want it to look oily and runny, and yeah, I'm really enjoying putting it on without having to be too careful. And ironically, the best thing about oils, or my favourite thing, is the way that you can remove them once you've applied them. So once they were dry, I came back in with a little bit of thinner or white spirit on a sea sponge and a lot of a makeup sort of sponge egg, and just sort of removed a lot of that sort of wash, making it more of like a smoother stain. And as you can see, this thing is huge. It is completely engulfed most of my desk and the legs aren't even in it. You may remember from video 1 that the shoulders had a corn logo on and that the previous owner had cut the shoulders flat to apply them. So I didn't really want to try and carve in a new curve to the shoulder. So instead I decided to sculpt these on the iPad. These are essentially just a copy of an Eldar logo that I saw online, but they came out really well. So what did you also think about the little shoulder repair? I know it's probably not the most impressive or well thought out way of fixing it, but I thought it actually looks quite good and makes him look a little bit regal and adds a bit of interest. Then I decided to tackle the gems, and believe me when I say there are a lot of gems on this thing. Way more than I thought, especially when it came to sort of the shoulder spines. I don't know what they're called, but there's a lot of gems on those. After that, I had to take a break after I base coated them because I couldn't go over them again with the next colour. So I thought I'll start washing all of the metals. And I'm using Agrax Earthshade because it is fantastic. And I love it, and it's one of my favourite washes around. And I'm just covering all of the bronze that we did earlier, and I'm going to do the sort of deepest recesses on the silver as well. Now, after I did that, I plucked up the courage to tackle the gems again, and I just went for a tone up in the red section to do the main body of the gem. So when it comes to actually painting the main bulk of the gems, I sort of look at them in the way of sort of dividing it into thirds, the top being the darkest, the middle tone in the middle, and the lightest bit at the bottom, and then you add your sort of spotlight or your white dot at the top left or top right, but it depends where you put your darkest colour. After doing both those colours on the gems, I needed a break from the gems again because, as I say, there's 471 of the things. So I decided to do a little bit of edge highlighting with the original teal colour on just some of the sharpest points of the armour, not being too sharp with this because I want it to look quite rugged. So as well as doing some of the edge highlighting, I did sort of stipple/dry brush some of these bigger, flatter panels just to sort of brighten them up a bit with that original teal colour, and to, you know, take away some of that turquoise that I originally did because I wasn't a massive fan of it. I much preferred it just being on the spines, sort of coming down into the titan. I also gave a little dry fit test for the Eldar logos that I printed out, and I think they look fantastic. They don't protrude too far from the shoulder to be distracting, but they also look, you know, interesting enough to really sort of fit the model. So I glued those on and then got back to the 471,918 gems on this thing to add a small white dot. After that, I thought I'd start highlighting some of the bronze or gold sort of tones by just essentially stippling on the original iridescent bronze from golden, and then I thought I wanted to add some weathering. Now, super simple, I used a normal sort of sponge that you might get in packaging or, you know, your hobby cases, and then using makeup sponges. Essentially, I was just dabbing it on just to start adding little mud marks. When I start establishing the base, I will really go to town with some of the weathering. Also, look how technical this is, the old brush flick for adding a little bit of spatter. And although the footage doesn't show what's actually coming off the brush barely at all, it does look quite effective in person, and I promise I'll try and get some better footage. Now, I do appreciate this isn't really a painting tutorial or something you can sort of follow along with, so I do try to keep these sort of shorter and sweeter, so I won't try and bore you with showing you more of me spattering and airbrushing. So let's take a look at how we've left this absolute beauty. Now, as I say, part 3, we're going to weather this further. I haven't touched any of the white yet because I want to test out a few things before I sort of commit to painting over the white. And I just thought, yeah, I want to make this more grimdark, especially with the release of the sort of John Blanche sets. And also I keep seeing posts about all the new Nurgle models, which are fantastic, really grimy, really slimy, and I love it. So let's bring grimdark back. And we're going to start with an Eldar Phantom Titan. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you liked it, please do consider giving it a thumbs up, commenting, or sharing it with someone who may also enjoy it. And hopefully we will see you on the next one.